Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Well, today's session, Monday morning, we are talking about inflammation and what it can do to our body and what can we do from a lifestyle and dietary perspective. And that's why we have Ginger with us. Ginger is a registered dietitian nutritionist. She focuses on inflammation and all the details, the holistic ways that we can get rid of the inflammation from our bodies. So thank you so much, Ginger, for joining me today.
I'm really happy to be here. This is such an important topic.
Yeah, so let's just start with what causes inflammation in our body.
Yeah, it's such an interesting subject because inflammation is actually a good thing in a lot of ways. If you get a cut, if you have a virus, you need inflammation to get better. So inflammation is a natural part of the body's process, but if it gets out of hand or you have too much over a long period of time, it turns into chronic inflammation. And that causes all sorts of issues, from feeling poorly with low energy to actually developing chronic diseases.
Okay, so and we know that now. Let's just talk a little bit about. Okay, let's say someone has inflammation. What kind of symptoms they're going to feel? That's number one. And if a client comes to you, what kind of testing you're doing? And then once you know the testing, of course, the lifestyle changes. So these are the 1, 2, 3 kind of a thing that go in sequence. So just like to talk a little bit about that. And this is not a medical advice. This is just an educational session.
Perfect. Yeah, so people come to me and my team, like I said, feeling like something's wrong, feeling, people will say, I feel inflamed, my joints hurt, I'm tired, I don't feel like myself, I'm gaining all this weight, I don't know why. People also come to us with cancer, with diabetes, with autoimmune conditions, and with cardiovascular disease, all of which have inflammatory pieces to the puzzle. So that's how people end up on my doorstep. So they're not feeling well. And because I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, I don't actually order labs, but what I tell my clients is, hey, let's work together with your medical team, ask to get a CRP drawn, which stands for C-reactive protein. It's one of the best inflammatory markers that we can get. It's a great place to start.
Okay, so let's say you get the markers and then and you see that someone's has inflammation in their body. And so let's just talk about the process and overall high level protocol, like on dietary changes and lifestyle changes that you're recommending to get rid of that.
Yeah, it really is multifaceted. So my team and I are holistic providers. And so really we'll look at every individual and say, what is getting in the way for you? So of course we're nutritionists, so we talk about diet. So I'd love to talk more about that. But also we talk about stress, sleep quality, and physical activity, because those three things, even if you have a perfect diet, can still be causing inflammation. So looking at the whole picture is really critical.
Okay, and then obviously something is wrong when the client comes to you, either or the whole picture, right? That's why they're inflamed. Either they're stressed out, or which most of us are stressed out in today's day and age. I think all of us have some kind of inflammation going on in our bodies, honestly, And then sleep, a lot of us have problems with sleep. And then, so what is the recommendation? I just want a general recommendation. Like I said, this is not an advice, but just generally, eat these kind of foods, avoid that. This is the herb, stress, taking some yoga pranayama. That's the kind of stuff that I think we can talk a little bit more detail.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so complex, for sleep. I'm forever referring out to get sleep apnea testing. I mean, sleep testing for people that struggle with that is huge. I also talk a lot about different supplements, like from magnesium to GABA to valerian, so many different herbals that can help with sleep, and registered dietitians are really specialized in that world. I refer out to therapy. I refer out to breathing work. I have lots of apps that I suggest people do, starting yoga practice or simply physical activity for stress management. Those are all things that I help my clients implement. But one thing I think we should definitely talk about is the dietary aspect. It's the foundation of what I do. And really, the anti-inflammatory diet is about adding things in. A lot of people think it's about cutting things out, but it's actually the opposite. More fruits, more vegetables, more whole grains, plant-based foods. These really help calm the body down. I also do a lot of tea and different herbs and spices, curcumin, ginger, garlic, all of these herbs and spices can really help control inflammation.
So any particular type of food groups that we should start? I mean, you just said broadly fruits and vegetables, any particular type of vegetables, any particular type of fruits, any type of things that we should focus on in our meals, that we should take that out and add that in, like that's what you talked.
Yeah, for sure. You know, most people need to be eating more fruits and vegetables. And within my anti-inflammatory diet, I actually put all fruits and all vegetables in the good category. What I talk about the most is increasing different colors. So if you eat mostly greens, that's excellent. But where are your yellows and purples and oranges and reds? So really when you're going to the grocery store or farmer's market, looking at how you can maximize all the different colors, because different colors indicate different anti-inflammatory antioxidants. So increasing the type and variety of fruits and veggies is a great place to start. And, you know, I don't tell my clients that they have to be vegan or even vegetarian, but most people could eat more tofu, beans, nuts, and seeds. So I will work on replacing some meat if it's in my client's diet with plant-based proteins, and that can boost fiber and antioxidants. Okay.
And then what other things, like any herbs you know, like ashwagandha or turmeric? Turmeric has a lot of research on inflammation, at least. So do you recommend turmeric using it for cooking or as a supplement? What are your thoughts on some of these herbs and home kitchen spices for that matter, right?
Yeah, I really help my clients boost their kitchen spices. So dried or fresh, really just increasing, because most people enjoy them anyway, but maybe they forget about them or they don't know how to use them. So turmeric, ginger, those are huge. I keep them in my freezer in a whole root form and just grate them into all sorts of different things. I buy bunches of fresh cilantro and parsley, keep it on my kitchen counter and cut it into food all week. Yeah, garlic in everything. So these foods, especially when you combine them and put them into your diet all the time, they really can make a big difference in making you feel less inflamed. And it's delicious too.
Okay. Anything else? I mean, this is a quick 10-minute session we bring on a daily basis on completely different topics all day long and every single day. So this morning, actually, we had a session on using yoga and Ayurveda for stress and anxiety. And then we had another session before this on sleep, improving sleep, you know, taking how emotions. So what questions that I'm going to bring is a very interesting topic that I just had, how emotions can play have, you know, kind of like disrupt our sleep patterns, right? So now we have inflammation in our body. So it's not related to diet, but I am 100% sure that emotions have an effect on inflammation in our body, right? So any thoughts, any comments on that and what to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's proven. You're so right. Like stress, emotional and physical, really can cause inflammation in the body. So you do need to address that in order to get control of inflammation. But while you're working on lowering inflammation, lowering stress, fixing the diet can be helpful. If you're drinking a lot of caffeine, if you're eating a lot of sugar, if you're skipping meals, if you're out of balance in your diet, that can make stress and anxiety worse. So one thing that I do with my clients, and if anyone's struggling with this, they should certainly reach out to a registered dietitian nutritionist as part of their team. But getting people on a regular eating schedule, eating balanced meals can be extremely calming to the body and reduce cortisol levels too.
And then this would be a personalized nutrition analysis, not one size fits all, right? That's what I'm assuming.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm Champagne Nutrition, which is a concierge nutrition practice. And so not one client is on the same protocol. Everybody's completely different based on their lifestyle, their values, their food preferences. It has to be that way to really get results.
And I just want to add this fact that a lot of these traditional medicine practices like Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine have been talking about personalized nutrition based on your constitution. If you read through their, right, the Ayurveda has this dosha concept, and even Chinese medicine has a concept of your 4 type of body constitutions and how you should really understand and eat accordingly. So this concept has been around for 5,000 years. The only difference is now we have science and research to back it up, right?
You're so right. One thing that I use in my practice is I use nutrigenomics, which is genomic testing, to talk about what kind of foods are going to be most helpful for you and what kind of diseases could be in your genetics that we need to look out for. So there are some new interesting ways to personalize, but you're right. Let's not forget that this is the foundation of traditional medicine.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. This is a quick session for us to understand how we can decrease inflammation in our body by doing some simple lifestyle practices and also dietary modifications. Thank you so much for joining me. And Ginger, have everyone keep supporting us. We are almost at 250,000 followers. We have our app coming. A lot of exciting things happening month of July. So stay tuned and keep supporting us with that. Thank you so much, and logging off now. Bye-bye.